The time's 5:01. I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Environmental Services Committee meeting for Thursday, September 5th. Just as a reminder, please note that this meeting is being broadcast and recorded. Recordings will be made available on the town's YouTube channel. I'll remind the committee if there's a pecuniary interest to declare it at that time. We have no delegations under item 3, so we'll move to section 4. I have a motion moved by Mayor Atkinson, seconded by Councilor Wolvett, that the minutes be adopted by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee, and that those confidential minutes of the closed sessions of the committee remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And that is for our committee meeting on August 8th, 2024. Is there any questions or concerns with those minutes? Seeing nothing, so I'll call for the vote. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We have nothing under item 5 or 6, so we'll jump into staff reports. I have a motion moved by Councilor Wolvett, seconded by Mayor Atkinson, that the report by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated August 22nd, 2024, or 2025, proposed water and sewer budget be received for review. We received that in advance, and of course, we've got printed copies in large font in front of us. Does the committee want to go through kind of the water section first?
Sure, whatever you like, Mr. Chair.
Paul, you want to add anything before we jump into questions?
I can probably touch on the highlights if you'd like. On the operating side of things, we're just looking at just small inflationary increases on the water side. Probably the biggest change you're going to notice is in the law's operating and capital. That's going up roughly $70,000, and that's because we are slowly but surely becoming a bigger part of that system, and that's how we're paying. I mean, that's normally going to be offset by increased revenue with the additional users, so that's not really a surprising change there. On the capital, continuing on some of the good stuff that we did last year, we want to put a good big project together, replacing some of that copper that we've been having trouble with in the Cullen Drive area. So you'll see an increase of $100,000 to a total of $200,000, so we can put a big tender package together for that. These things are costing us anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000 each when we're having to respond to them on a case-by-case basis. We think we can reduce that significantly by putting out a tender for it. Continuing on with the Confederation line water replacement, $375,000 there. The water meter replacement project went very, very well. We completed the vast majority of those, but there are still a few lingering accounts that have been difficult to do. We may still have an opportunity to complete those this year, but I did budget $50,000 just in case we do not put those in next year. And the water sampling stations, 3 new installs. As the municipality continues to grow, our requirements for water sampling increase. So we're going to install 3 new water sampling stations, 2 in the former Plympton area and 1 here in Wyoming. On the revenue side, we applied the 3.6% increase plus a modest 1% population growth for our projected revenue this year. We also have $90,000 that Laws is going to contribute to the Confederation project, considering we're replacing their 10-inch water main there. So those are kind of the highlights of the water budget. Open to conversation and questions.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, the copper line replacement up in that area that we're going to do, we're going to go to all the houses and just replace them all right off the bat.
Through the chair, the intent would be to replace from the main all the way to the curb stop, similar to what we did on the Muskoka Trail project. There may be services in there from the curb stop to the house that are plastic or a copper that's of later vintage. That's not necessarily a problem. Our focus would be within the road allowance.
And we'll be notifying the residents that we're going to be doing that.
Absolutely.
Through the chair, if I may, that project probably will move a little faster than Muskoka Trail was. Muskoka Trail was very tight. It's very difficult for the directional drill to drill some of those bores through. Whereas Helen is a lot more open. So we should be able to move a little bit faster through there. So it hopefully won't take the same amount of time as Muskoka Trail took.
And that'll be this next summer coming up.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll kind of just go through then, we'll start with the water budget, operating expenditures and capital expenditures. Did the committee have any questions specific to the water expenditures? Paul? Seeing nothing?
Anyone?
I don't have anything.
And we'll carry that over to the revenue then for the water. Any questions? Seeing nothing? For the sanitary sewer budget, we have the next page on here. We have the operating expenditures and the capital expenditures. Again, any questions about those? Or sorry, go ahead.
Do you want me to do a summary
Sure.
of that as well? Happy to. So again, on the operating side, we're just looking at kind of inflationary increases. We did change the Jacobs contract last year to utilize the Q2 consumer price index and the employment index. Unfortunately, those numbers aren't available to us, so we've just applied a 4.5% increase just for demonstration of how the budget will increase. Those numbers are subject to change. And again, I'm only asking the committee to receive this for information tonight. We can endorse it at a subsequent meeting. Going down to the capital side, that's probably where most of the questions might be generated. There's some big priority projects planned for the coming years, and they're expensive. As the committee is probably already aware, we were not successful in getting the Housing Enabled Water Systems Fund. They did open up a second intake with an additional $200 million. So our intent is to reapply. We feel like our chances are good. We have a good project and a good application. So you'll see some offsetting revenue in the revenue section. Whereas if we got the grant, it would be approximately $2.6 million. If we don't receive that grant, we would be looking to offset with additional reserves. So that would be a total between our sewer reserves and our sewer frontage fees. We're looking at $4.6 million. And we project that we would have it at year end about $7 million in reserves. So we have the reserves. But obviously our goal is to be able to be successful with the grant.
Thank you. So with that, are there any questions for Paul about the sewers? Mayor Atkinson?
Yeah, Paul, I just noticed that you're throwing in on the operating expenditures, 500 for training, but we haven't had any that I see in 24 or even 2023, even 2022. Is that just there in case we need to update or bring our people up to speed on some certain things, or what's that for?
Yeah, through the chair, I am anticipating utilizing that budget in future years just to kind of bring our competency level in this area up. I did attend the wastewater conference this year. It's possible that all got allocated towards water because it was a joint water conference. So we could look at reallocating some of that money towards this training expense. But yeah, we probably will. I don't know if it'll be the full $5,000, but I didn't see a need to reduce it because I think that we will utilize it in the future.
Yeah, Paul kind of answered the question anyways that I was going to ask on the CPI. It's hard, if you're just going to receive this and be updated later on, once we get those numbers, then we'll know exactly what we're budgeting for 2025. So it's hard to budget if it's going to float. You answered the question. So when do we get those numbers? Late in the year?
We'll go here first real quick.
To the chair, if I may. Those numbers should be at any time now. As far as Jacobs, our budget is ready. We just have to wait for those numbers so we can plug them into our system, so we can get that out to you guys. So we're ready to go. We're just waiting on those numbers. So
So what are we predicting? I thought I'd heard somewhere around 1.5%, 1.6%.
it will be higher than that.
Gonna be higher than that.
Yes.
All right. That's all I have.
Nothing on my left. I'll just say
Still in shock.
I'll just say I hope we have success with that grant. Thanks to staff again for putting this together. Of course, clearly, we've got a plan to have increases every year so that we can be self-sufficient and not fall into debt. So hopefully we're not penalized for being responsible with grants like this.
Somebody didn't put that on Facebook.
I will, we have a motion on the table here to be received for review. All in favor? That's carried. We have another motion for staff reports, item 7.2, moved by Mayor Atkinson, seconded by Councillor Wolvette. A report by Christine Tomlinson, Executive Assistant of Finance, dated August 30th, 2024, regarding the 2025 Environmental Services Committee calendar be received, and that this Environmental Services Committee approve the 2025 committee meeting dates, and that the approved meeting dates be forwarded onto the town clerk for inclusion in the 2025 council and committee calendar. And again, we can always change these at discretion of the chair if something comes up. Are there any questions about what's been proposed?
Those are basically about the same dates
Yeah.
that we have now, correct?
Don't see nothing, so I'll call for vote. All in favor? That's carried. We have nothing under item 8. I'll move on to section 9.1. A motion moved by Mayor Atkinson, seconded by Councillor Wolvette. The minutes from the laws meeting be received for June 2024. Again, that was provided in advance. Any questions? Nothing, anyone left? No. All right, so I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. We have no correspondence requiring action. We have also no recommended reading. So I'll move on to section 12 for new business related to Environmental Services Committee. Anything from Councillor Wolvette?
I do, just a question on our garbage and recycle. Where are we at with that? And when is it going to be taken over? I guess we're talking two different things here, recycle, garbage. What do you know about what's going on there?
Chair, when it comes to getting the recycling taking over by
Yes.
circular materials,
Absolutely.
I believe that's still a couple of years away. Right now, we're being compensated through them, and it's generally more than what it's costing us. So it's working out in our favor at the moment. The garbage and recycling budget will probably come next month. Christine is preparing it now.
Okay, so we're still doing pretty good because they are financing us, right?
They are
Eventually they will take it over, my understanding.
completely.
I don't know a lot of detail, okay. Same with the electronic buckets out at Reese's Corners. Have they taken that over too, or are they just strictly into the roadside recycling?
I believe they're just doing the recycling. I don't think they're including the e-waste in their contract.
How are we making out there? We breaking even there, or we doing on that bucket?
I'm not sure, but I'd be happy to find out and bring it back.
Small, yeah. We were all kind of breaking even each year, but and we had an individual hired to be there. But now that town staff is taking care of it, we don't need to hire somebody. So, yeah, I guess it depends on how many times you fill the bucket and send it away, but.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're not taking that over. Okay, I thought they were going to, but somewhere down the line, I'll recycle, but.
I'm not completely sure about the e-waste, but I
Okay.
will look it up, and get back to the committee.
That's all I have for new business.
Nothing really, but just as an FYI, going back to that laws issue on 9.1. Well, I went to AMO with Councillor Van Claveren, and we had asked for a delegation with the minister. And when we got there on Sunday, we found out we were kind of on a standby. So we didn't get into the loop to get one, but found out that we were not going to get one, but the minister has guaranteed us that he will come to Sarnia to meet with the mayors that are involved with laws. And basically, this is for the opportunity to create our own structure, a little bit different, that we can go as laws as a group looking for funding, so it doesn't take away from each municipality. So that's supposed to happen in September sometime with that meeting. So once we have that opportunity, I'll certainly update the committee when we have something positive on that.
Mayor?
So, Mr. Chair.
Perfect, thank you. Mr. Ripples? Double staff.
Oh.
Right over here.
Just to let everyone know that, our monthly report was late. We know that, unfortunately, last week we were quite busy with some repairs. That unexpected repairs that kind of took a lot longer than anticipated. With battery pumps and a water main repair on Dunbar walkway there. So we will have that to you as well as next month's or the next meeting, so.
I couldn't sleep at night, Joe.
Even though I knew it would be bothering everyone, so.
It is summer.
Thanks. I just thought the committee would like to know that we're just wrapping up our preventative maintenance sewer flushing program. It'll be completed next week. It went really, really well. We also performed CCTV inspections on the entire hamlet of Kamalaki, and we'll be reviewing that shortly. We have an indication that that might be a good source of the I&I problems that we're having is that hamlet. So by reviewing these CCTV videos, we'll be able to identify any structural deficiencies within the system and go through and put together a list and do some treacherous repairs. So we'll be looking to utilize some of the operating budget this year to perform some of that treacherous work.
Mr. Chair, through you to Mr. De Silva, has that ever been looked at before, ever since those sewers went in? Like, is this the first time that we've done that?
Through the chair, it's not the first time we've done sewer flushing, but I believe it's the first time
With the camp.
that it's been done with the CCTV inspections.
Right.
Yes. With exception of any new development like Erie Court would have been done at the time that it was constructed, for example. Or they all probably were done at the time they were constructed, but some of that's getting pretty old now, so it's been a while.
That's a little bit.
Just a question, Paul, is there a water convention coming up?
Water
Yeah,
there's training, I believe, yes.
no, it's.
Is that
The Western Ontario Waterworks Conference.
Yeah, where is that this year?
London. It's in London all the time at the 4 Point Sheridan on Wellington Road there. Now I'm a member of the board there as well, so
Okay.
I took Adam's spot.
Yeah. Past employee had asked the question about it, said I wasn't sure when it was going to be.
Yeah, so that's, I believe it's October 2nd and 3rd.
Great. It's in London, thank you.
Heading Mr. Wolbert.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, Chair wanted to know if you were going.
I considered that last year. There was a big international one too, went on last year, and I missed out. I don't know yet. If I do, I'll let you know.
Anything else?
Nothing else.
All right. We have nothing under close, so I will move to item 14. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wolbert, seconded by Mayor Atkinson, that the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee regular meeting be adjourned until the next regular meeting held October 3rd, 2024 at 5 p.m. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you, everybody.